The Maroons breaking through the banners. Will they break through the history books in this series of 2009? Of course, young Jennings out there as one of the rookies has got a big job in his hands tonight against Justin Hodges, many believe to be the best centre in the world. He's been jousting and jabbing and sledging in pre-game taunts against the youngster that runs like an Olympic sprinter. That's just one of the matchups. Peter and the panel went right through them. And congratulations, Melbourne, you've filled the stadium. The 6th time we've been here, and every time we've been here, the winner of the match has gone on to win the series. So wouldn't it be lovely to leave here as a winner tonight? Keeping in mind that record out of 27 series decided, the team winning game 1 has gone on to win the series 19 times. It's time for the national anthem. Let's take that now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Australian national anthem, performed this evening by accomplished singer and actor Michael Cormick.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Well, the clock is ticking. We're nearly ready for the start of the 2009 Harvey Norman State of Origin Series. Darren Lockyer, captain of Queensland, plays his 28th Origin tonight, 14th as captain, and his 11th series. Only Langer and Fittler, with 12 appearances, exceed the deeds of Lockyer, whose Origin debut was back in 1998.
And of course, Darren missed last year's series with that knee reconstruction. So he's welcome back into the side as captain. Cameron Smith was the skipper last year. And speaking of skippers, well, there's another fullback, just the second fullback to captain at this level. Lockyer is the other one, Kurt Gidley. 3 Newcastle men in a row. Andrew Johns, Danny Vidiris, now Kurt Gidley.
Origin, it doesn't get any better in rugby league. The place where dreams are realised and shattered. The arena where you expect the unexpected. The chance to become legendary. It's underway. Origin 2009 out of Melbourne. Game 1. Never been played. Game 1 in Melbourne before. So it's Seven Receiver leading the defence on O'Donnell in the first couple of plays. Here's Cray coming just beyond the 20-metre line now. Ben Cray then playing the ball back for Farrell. A more or less leisurely pass away for Brent Kite, who goes up the centre and has tackled just beyond his own 30-metre line. So the first set, and a charge down attempt on the kick from Wallace has come down, and it's in the hands here of Campese, who plays it. And now in there is Jennings, and he's trying to make ground, but he's in heavy traffic and pulled down by Cameron Smith, the number 9, with Dallas Johnson in 13 making the tackle. The ball has been spun away, and it's gone out there to the 11 for New South Wales, and he's tackled Luke O'Donnell up near halfway, up near centre field it is, and Farah goes for an early dove, or tries to, but the front marker moves aside, Smith, and pulls him to ground. So New South Wales then nearing the end of their first set. LaFranchi starting the game in place of Luke Lewis, playing it now 40 metres away from the Queensland line, onto the boot of Campese, and it goes straight down to Israel Folau. And Campese leads the chase and goes down and makes the first tackle.
Well, some strong defence there, but two poor kicks to start for New South Wales. Peter Wallace charged down by Stephen Price and Terry Campese straight to the winger. But also noticeable that we've had two different kickers to start for the Blues. Styday takes it outside the 30 or just on.
Interesting to note Justin Hodges with his first handle in attack. He was met eyeball to eyeball by young Jennings and turned on his back and thumped into the ground. Stayed here, knock on by Queensland, and New South Wales are celebrating. 35 away from the line. Running towards the northern end of Etihad. Tony Archer, the referee, ruling that it was knocked on. Archer, Steve Price was the man that caused the breach for the Queenslanders. As Jennings just lays it back for Campese, gets the return ball on the runaround, and he'll play the ball now, Jennings, just outside the 30-metre line. Here's Jared Hayne taking a run, taking it 20 metres away from the western touchline. Ball played back to Farah, Farah to Gidley, Gidley to Cray, and Ben Cray will play the ball 20 metres out from the line. So Origin 1 underway, and Kite is going to play it for the Blues just outside the 10-metre line. Farah waiting to go to the right side, a dummy to Bailey, he gives it on, and then a run around with O'Donnell. They go across and they go flat. And here's a penalty going to the Blues. LaFranchi was tackled.
And a decision to be made here by New South Wales. Do they keep the pressure on, the attack bubbling, or do they take the 2 points and steady the nerves and take an early lead? Kurt Gidley, his first decision, and he opts for the latter.
Yes, sir. Any lead in Origin is a good lead. Take it while you can. He probably thought about it, but then common sense prevailed. And this will, when it goes through the post, make a nice start for the Blues. There was a real chance there if they missed LaFranchi on that run and the ball went out the back. I think they would have had them outnumbered out wide.
I was waiting for that replay just to see what the penalty was over. It was Cameron Smith raking the ball in a two-man tackle. I can't see any argument against Tony Archer, who's in his fourth Origin. Shane Hayne is in his second. Gidley will take the kick for goal from close proximity. First time as captain. Fifth game in Origin for Kurt Gidley. Strikes it, and it's there for 2 points for New South Wales. So the Blues grab the first points. 5 minutes down, 2-0 in favour of the Aussie Home Lows Blues.
I like that little run around play there with Robbie Farah, because there was numbers out wide. If you looked at it from the high shot, you'd have seen that had he missed LaFranchi and gone out the edge, there were players over. See how Queensland had come in, and they had 3 or 4 New South Wales players up against one winger there.
This kick-off is deep from Queensland, and it's gone back for Luke Bailey to bring it away, 12 metres out from his own line. Play it for Farah, and Farah goes to O'Donnell, and he's tackled right on the 20-metre line now. Luke O'Donnell playing it back, and again it's with Farah, turning it back inside for Brent Kite. Churchill, medal winner in the grand final for the Manly club last October. Now LaFranchi, and he plays the ball on the 40-metre line before Farah kicks out of dummy half. It's not a bad kick, it's a good kick, but not a 40-20. But it was a show of confidence, Pete, from Robbie Farah early in the game.
Well, so was the runaround move, looking to get a very skillful player involved in all facets of the game. I'll be a little bit disappointed there, because Robbie Farah was only a step outside the 40. And if they'd have been able to get in just that little bit better position, it is a huge play on a weekend. It is a great play at Origin, a 40-20.
Well, just the fact he's done that, Peter, will make Queensland wingers think twice about coming up, which gives you the opportunity to spread the ball later in the game. They've got Queenslander winger guessing there.
Here's Petro. Taken down just 32 metres away from the Queensland line now. It looks like Ashley Harrison getting it up towards halfway, and it's Cameron Smith who goes back to Stephen Price, who becomes the most capped forward in Origin history in this match tonight. He was level coming into it with Bobby Limmer. Now it's Stephen Price on his own, and that ball rolling down to hit the corner post, so it's dead in goal. It'll come out to the 20. Steve Price, of course, he probably doesn't want me to say it, but he and Petro, of course, form the oldest front row combination in Origin history, up at an aggregate of 68.
Well, I think they'd be shouting it from the rooftops. It's an enormous effort, and one they should be very proud of, and no doubt are. Oh, big hit there, front on by Sam Thaiday.
That was on McManus, by the way. Here's Campese just holding the ball back as long as he could before trying to put Cray through a gap, but closing that gap was Justin Hodges. Farah crosses halfway. Here's Hayne down the left touchline. The support's coming from Jennings. It's a dummy from Hayne. He goes for the corner. He puts the ball over the line. Jared Hayne has scored the first try in Origin. I fancy.
Well, we're going upstairs, and that'll no doubt to have a look at Jared Haynes light stepping along the touchline, and to whether those iridescent boots that he's wearing touch the whitewash. A brave play, a short side, and there was plenty of defence there. Luke Bailey claiming he was pulled back as a support player, but Hayne on the outside keeps his heel in the air and has done an amazing job.
Well, it's not the first time we've seen Jared Hayne flirting with the Western touchline. He did the same at Suncorp from memory right on half-time in his debut game.
That is a try.
Jared Hayne has scored the first try. He had Jennings screaming for it on his inside. He took the outside option. Again, another view.
Oh, that's remarkable. There's another one coming up here. Not this step, but that one there just, well, I think it's all okay. Had Jennings on his inside. Shaped a pass. Committed Slater. We're going for another look. Oh, benefit of the doubt.
It's close, isn't it? There is a blade of grass in that. An absolute blade of grass. Here's another ring. We've got 1,000 cameras here tonight. Let's have a look at this one, that one there.
They're both okay.
Yeah, I think you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. Jennings was screaming up on the inside. He had outpaced the cover defence. Had he passed it, Jennings might score under the post. I think when you get to this many views, that's the one they're looking at. When you get to this many views, there has to be benefit of the doubt.
You do get worried when there's this many views.
Bill Harrigan and Tim Mander are the joint video referees. Mander from Queensland, Harrigan from New South Wales.
Well, see, now this is becoming boring. A decision should have been made by now. The fans wanted a decision a couple of minutes ago. And have we learnt any more from that than what we learnt from 3 replays ago? No.
It's significant the touch judge finished up in the in goal, and he was down there like a detective for half an hour chasing Hayne. It's no try. It is no try. The Queensland fans rejoice.
Well, I can't wait to hear which replay Bill Harrigan made the decision on.
Well, that's ridiculous. If you have that many looks at it, there has to be doubt. That is a scared decision. Still, plenty of time to go. Yeah, we've still got 72 minutes.
Play on.
And plenty of time for live betting with TAB Sportsbet. It's a new record hold for Origin at $4.6 million prior to kickoff. That is lifting all the time. As I said, you can bet in running, but bet responsibly. Here is Steve Price with the ball now. Up towards halfway, centre of the ground. And a penalty goes to Queensland. How quickly the tide can turn.
Here in New South Wales, the young fellas here have got to be careful. They think they had a try. They've gone through the emotion of celebration, disappointment. Now they've immediately given away a penalty, and here come the Queenslanders. They are deadly from this range.
So Smith taking the tap, Thurston giving the ball back on the short side for Thaiday. And Sam will play the ball just outside the 20-metre line. As Smith goes across and puts an inside ball in the hands of Stephen Price. Price, 10 metres away, chance Queensland, Thurston, Hodges, the ball came off one of the Blues. Jennings tried to recover, and the ball is still play on. Thurston comes back to where it all started. Comes to Jennings, beats Jennings. Eventually taken by Kite and by Bailey. Smith then to the centre for Subanasiva. He's up to the 10-metre line again in front of the southern uprights. Play by Petro. Lockyer. And they go across and they pick up Jamie Lyon. I beg your pardon, they pick up over there the centre three-quarter on the far side. It's now come from Thurston, and he dummies back towards Thaiday. Thurston, man of the series, the Wally Lewis medal in 2008. Here's the kick by Cameron Smith. And a leaping Billy Slater might have been a tad late. I don't know about his facial expression.
Well, plenty of celebration in the Queensland camp, and the combination between two Melbourne players, two men who share the same birthday. 2.5 weeks on the same day, Cameron Smith and Billy Slater. And Billy, as always, times his run perfectly. I thought, well, we'll get a better view than the bird's eye one. And it's looking good his way at the moment. The point of the football down. That is the first try. And beautifully constructed once again between hooker and fullback.
Unbelievable. How quick is he onto those kicks? His teammate from the Storm. First try to Queensland.
So 4-2. Billy Slater, the try scorer, International Player of the Year last year, and a great try in 2004, as you remember. Andrew Voss will go to you after this kick. From down on the sideline, he's got it. The conversion is there. Queensland 6, the Blues 2. Andrew.
Amazing rain. Not a game of inches, not a game of centimetres, a game of millimetres. Wally Lewis, Origin legend, with me. I thought they got the hand decision right. I thought no try. What did you think?
I went the other way. I actually thought it was a try for the New South Wales. The old benefit of the doubt rule. But look how quickly a game can change. It all turns around. Billy Slater manages to get in there, centimetres inside the try line. The important point for New South Wales now is, will they lose a little bit of that confidence they've been displaying in the opening 11 minutes?
So that's Greg Inglis on the far side of the ground. Playing left centre. Right centre is Hodges. Well, how do you think the punters feel that have gone for that first try scorer? One moment they had the money spent with Jared Hayne, and now those that back Billy Slater have been on the end of the queue, and now they've moved to the front.
It's great, isn't it? It only took us 8 minutes into the series for a bit of controversy. They didn't waste any time.
Thurston sends it down towards Jared Hayne. He's back just outside his 10-metre line. He's taken by Thaiday and Hodges.
And Wally Lewis makes a very relevant point. One of the big things about Origin football is how you react to adversity. And the Blues have had some, as Kurt Gidley scoots out of dummy half, as he does so well, takes it 33 out from his own line.
Luke Bailey now with a carry up to Ashley Harrison to the 40-metre line. It'll be played to Robbie Farah. Wallace wants it, he's got it, and that's the kick from Peter Wallace. Born in Melbourne, one of 3 Origin players born in the southern capital. Dean Pay to Manatahu. Queensland with Lockyer, and that is Hodges on the 40-metre line. So Cameron Smith, who captained the Queenslanders through last year's series in the absence of Lockyer. This is Sivanasiva. Inches into Blues territory. Thurston goes across and he finds Harrison, and he's cut down in a good tackle by Lyon. And now goes from Smith. It might have floated forward there to Thurston. Allowed to go by the officials. 20 metres out then on tackle number 5 from the New South Wales line. And Lockyer goes across. He's looking for the big fella, Folau. Folau and Hayne, a bit of a bump. And then it goes over the sideline.
Well, the crowd are booing.
Got a penalty. We've got a penalty.
Well, this is very interesting because Jared Hayne was just trying to get good body position on the danger of Folau. Kurt Gidley questioning.
To get in position,
I can only assume that the penalty goes for taking the man out.
It's interesting because Craig Bellamy, I'll come back to that as Price takes the ball towards the try line. In fact, he's only about 3 metres away. He was tackled by O'Donnell and Bailey. They're going wide. Thurston to Lockyer, to Harrison, to Slater, to Inglis. Are we about to see the second? The Queensland players over there think that he's got it down. He has.
Yeah.
Try Greg Inglis.
Yes, you can see the point of the football roll over. And that was all too simple, but a game came after a penalty. It is so difficult in the modern game to defend consecutive sets. New South Wales unable to do so, and the high fives for Queensland, who had no football early in this game. Well, they've hit back on the back of possession. And Greg Inglis, one of the superstars of our game, 3 there, and there, the touch of the football as he just rolls into position.
Welcome to our audiences taking us overseas. Setanta in the United Kingdom. I would imagine you'd have one very interested viewer over there tonight called Matthew Gidley, watching his brother at the moment leading New South Wales, and a deficit of 10-2 against him at the moment. Well, he doesn't surprise anybody when he picks up a try, does he, Greg Inglis? 6 tries now in 8 Origin matches, 13 tries in 11 Test matches. John Thurston from out near the touchline, 22 metres out on the eastern touchline. Thurston to convert the try, the second of the game, scored by Queensland. And here's the kick from Jonathan Thurston. Oh, it's gone like a bullet. Straight over the dot. They go further in front.
Yeah, like a tracer bullet. Let's have a look at the penalty again with Israel Folau. New South Wales will be very aware that he's the man under the high ball that Lockyer is looking for. And Jared Hayne had his eyes on the ball the whole time. I think it's a harsh call. I mean, they know Folau's coming through, but Hayne never took his eyes off the ball. And this is the try we pointed out on the Thursday night footy show last week. They would attack towards Jamie Lyon. They've been there 4 times already in only 16 minutes of play.
Here's Sivanasiva. Just inside the 20-metre line, taken by Jennings it was. He's not frightened to put his body on the line. First man up in a lot of the defence, countering that right side attack from Queensland. Here's Thaiday. I was going to make the point with that Hayne on Folau incident that Craig Bellamy had used Danny Frawley, the Australian rules assistant coach now these days, working with Inglis and Slater and Folau back in Folau's day. And he used him, Bellamy, with Hayne to help him. Here's another charge by Queensland. Harrison pulled down. 20 metres out from the Blues line. Now it's back with Thurston. They're coming wide and right again. Thaiday, run around, Lockyer, inside ball, Hodges to the 10. Now Folau puts an inside kick. Bailey struggling, Thurston scores. Queensland have scored a 3rd try.
Well, they are on a roll. And we go back to Cameron Smith trying to get out of dummy half to kick the previous play. New South Wales were reading that, and Craig Bellamy will be very disappointed that the play continued. That's where they should have had him wrapped up, and Cameron Smith so strong. Jonathan Thurston in support. finds Ashley Harrison on his inside, and after a tackle should have been made on the hooker 30 metres previous, all of a sudden the Maroons keep it flowing. Run-around plays have been important tonight. That's how the last try was scored. And then Israel Folau, he scores from kicks. Well, now he sets them up from the boot. And Jonathan Thurston, so instrumental in the movement on the left-hand side of the field, finishes it off on the right.
You saw the combination of these players, of Lockyer and Hodges, playing together on a weekly basis. How Hodges waited for Lockyer, knowing that he would have to come back on the inside. Then he got the ball to his winger, and there are a couple of New South Wales players at the end of that play who have just learned a valuable lesson about origin and ball on the ground. Jonathan Thurston came from behind 2 or 3 Blues players, more desperate, more hungry to get to the rolling ball, and there were Blues players walking towards the play. Paul Vorton's over here giggling. Look at him giggling up and down. His shoulders are going. He thinks it's funny.
Thurston now then, from just outside the 20-metre line, 12 metres in from touch, and again it's gone straight as an arrow. Wally Lewis on the sideline.
Gee, confidence and determination are very funny things in a game of footy. We saw the Blues go out with plenty of it early in the game. Now they were simply hanging back, waiting for the Queensland back line to attack them. But a little bit of luck has gone Queensland's way. The determination, there was 4 defenders for New South Wales came across to stop that movement. A little bit of luck back inside for Queensland.
Lockyer with a high bounce on the kickoff and immediately gives it away to Sivanasiva.
We all know, Wally, you make your own luck in this game, don't you? As a penalty to Queensland, Cameron Smith having the ball raked out from his grasp.
The reason for the penalty depicted there. And Queensland taking the tap a few metres from the halfway line, with Sivanasiva again rolling it ahead towards the halfway.
They're deadly rabbits, aren't they?
They're hot. They're smoking.
Wow, they're deadly.
Johnson. Smith short away for Price now, and Price, just like Sivanasiva, they're always gaining the 8 and the 9 metres without a great deal of effort, it seems. Here's Lockyer. Slater joins in. Inglis is with him again. He'll play the ball 18 metres away from the New South Wales line. And a ball has been lost as he gets up to play it. So a little bit of a release valve for the Blues. 18-2 in favour of Queensland. A quarter of the game gone.
Yeah, just some poor ball security there from Greg Inglis. Sigh of relief from the Blues, who have put Justin Paul into the action, jersey 15, on for Brent Kite.
The Blues with Jamie Lyon now, and they pick him up, 3 of them, and dump him on the ground just outside the 20-metre line. Here is Justin Paul with his first handle just beyond 30. Robbie Farah, dummy half, looking for Luke O'Donnell, finding him, and O'Donnell, who was down at Campbelltown before going to the Cowboys, plays the ball. It's come back to Ben Creagh, got a one-hander away, and Jared Hayne, he couldn't take it. I'm just wondering whether he might have been tackled not in possession, but that's been allowed to go through. And Folau fends away from Farah, and he's tackled low by Luke Bailey.
Well, the Queenslanders won't die wondering. If you look like you're going to get it, they'll hit you. If there's a ball on the ground, they'll dive on it. That's the difference at the moment.
Sivanasiva to play the ball, playing it for Cameron Smith, and here's Steve Price. Always at the ready. We talked about their ages earlier, but they're not playing anything like that. They're nimble and they're up there, they're athletic, industrious, all of those words for Steve Price and Petro Sivanasiva as Harrison played it. Thurston gives it, Lockyer's with it, cut out ball Hodges, and he was blindsided by Hayne. Hodges to play the ball then, back on the 30-metre line, Blues end, 5 gone.
Ben handed out there, Ray, as Jonathan Thurston puts it in between fullback and winger, be forced to be played out of James McManus, and he'll be claimed. Line drop out.
He won't be happy, James. He lost his footing before he had a real chance to beat them with some footwork.
Well, it's just the worst nightmare for these young Blues players at the moment, isn't it? Everything going Queensland's way. They're slipping over the Blues. They're dropping balls. They can't get enough possession. And this Queensland juggernaut is just rolling them backwards. play after play. Then they throw it to the talent, and at the moment the talent's too good. The Blues are not in the game at the moment.
This dropout hasn't got a lot of depth about it. Plenty of height, but not much depth, and that's Ben Hannon that takes it back. He'll play the ball just outside the 30-metre line. Steve Price is there, and he takes it up towards Luke O'Donnell and Anthony LaFranchi. Bailey goes in to make a three-man tackle, but they go left side for Thurston. And now here's a diagonal run back, cutting back towards centre by Inglis. He'll play the ball on the 10-metre line. Cameron Smith waits. Jonathan Thurston. He's with the ball. Gone to his captain. He shows it to Sam Thaiday. Goes round the back. Slater to Folau. And Folau, who put a successful kick in before. This time it goes over the dead ball line.
He's a big, strong boy, Israel Folau. I'm not sure that he shouldn't have had a charge for the line. I mean, he is leading 18-2. And in this situation, he should have just pinned his ears back. Oh, maybe, maybe not. But he didn't use the big right foot step, and the kick was never on, right out the back. I think a big right foot step there, he beats everyone.
So what a turnaround we've had here tonight. First points of the game, the Blues, a penalty goal, then Jared Hayne, a disallowed try, and a penalty goes to the Blues now for hand on the ball. And what could well have been an 8-0 lead suddenly has been turned into an 18-2 deficit with 3 tries, 3 brilliant tries to Queensland, and a problem for Justin Hodges.
Yep, there's drama. Justin Hodges going to the sideline. Now, he's had hamstring problems, but it doesn't look like a hamstring. It's more an ankle there. So the number 14 has gone onto the field. Carmichael Hunt will play in the centres on the right-hand side.
He had hamstring problems coming out of the Test match last month against New Zealanders. Inside pass here, looks like Michael Wayman out there for the Blues.
Yes, a lot of people thought that maybe Wayman and Justin Poore, the Dragons props, should have been the starting props. Well, they're there now. And here is Wayman thumping it up inside the 30-metre line, tackled by Steve Price as it goes from Farrer to Wallace, and Wallace goes back, and then Gidley flick passes, and he picks up Lyon. It's gone down to ground off Wayman and called knock backwards as it was. 5 tackles gone then for New South Wales. Campese puts in a kick, but it's negated very quickly by John Thurston, who gave it immediately to Billy Slater, and he was tackled almost immediately by Gidley. So Queensland just outside the 20-metre line. Andrew Voss sideline.
Yeah, and down with the Queensland bench too. You know there's a drama. Justin Hodges didn't try to run that injury out, put his hand up, said I've got to come off. So they've taken him straight to the dressing rooms. We'll get the latest in just a moment.
Play by Carmichael Hunt, his first carry. Dallas Johnson with the ball. 5 metres from halfway. 2-man tackle, the Dragons props of Poore and Wayman. And already I saw Wayman hunched over. I wonder, is he okay? Here's Hayne coming back, slicing through, over halfway, 1 to beat, defence converging, and he loses the ball in the tackle. Penalty, it'll be 2 in the tackle and a rake.
Oh, he's a player, this boy. Justin. Jared Hayne.
Gee, I think that's a harsh penalty again against Queensland here. You've got one man in the clear, one of the real opposition danger men. You go in, there's a collision there. Billy Slater's just raking at the man and the ball. I think it's a tough call.
So the Blues to the attack with O'Donnell taken by Thaiday and by Carmichael Hunt. Now Robbie Farrer is a metre from the line, tackled by Dallas Johnson. Gidley goes into dummy half. It's through to Campese and on now to Wayman. Michael Wayman to play it right in the middle of the ground. 10 metres out from the line, Queensland's end. Campese showed it in, went out, Cray around the corner. O'Donnell! Oh. He had the ball going groundwards, and the ball has finished up with Queensland.
Billy Slater. Luke O'Donnell, he scores 99% of the time. Well, the one is Billy Slater. Unbelievable defence on his own line, the contact forcing the ball loose. He's a great runner of the football, but how good is he in stopping tries as well?
Often made the statement that this series will be won on tries saved. saving tries is as good as scoring tries, and that man there, you can put him down for one, Billy Slater.
That's Nate Miles. And the Sydney Roosters has been a part of the Triple Crown since day one. In fact, 6 of them. 6 Maroons have been here since the start of the 06, 07, 08 Triple Crown victory.
All the mistake there from the Maroons. Keep the Blues in good field position, and you're spot on, Gus. It's not a hamstring problem for Justin Hodges. It appears as though he's twisted his knee. So strong doubts that he would take any further part in this contest.
So here's Jennings trying to go through, and Lockyer pulls off a great tackle. Now it's Gidley. Gidley up and tackled on the 20-metre line.
Yeah, Jennings a bit dusty after that tackle from Lockyer.
And so New South Wales again pumping away at the Queensland line. They're 10 metres out with Campese. Farah goes right side for Wallace, who dummied inside to O'Donnell. And then he's bent over and put down by Cameron Smith and Ben Hannant. Here's Farah going across, grubber kick in behind. Folau, will he get back? No. So Folau is grasped. It'll be a line dropout. Remembering, I'm just looking at this scoreboard. Game 1, 2005, Queensland leading 19-0 at half-time, and they won in Golden Point. So we're reminded of comebacks as we look at this one. 18-2, 3 tries to 0.
Yeah, well, Origin's full of them, and there are a few opportunities for the Blues out there. When they get the ball in good field position, they've had some little half breaks and some other things they can work on, not only in the second half of this game, but in future games.
This is Justin Paul. He made a run of probably 15 metres before the chasers greeted him, the defence men. Now Wayman backs him up, and the ball to be played by Michael Wayman just inside the 30-metre line. Farah short for Wallace. Wallace back into the middle of the ruck for Gidley. And Gidley is taken down by Cameron Smith, racking up plenty of tackles. Campese an inside ball, picking up O'Donnell it is. And he'll play the ball just inside 20. Right in centre ground. Farah going across to Wallace. Gidley on his inside. He buckled at the tackle of Harrison. Ball went loose. Hannon picked it up. And here is Boyd on the far side of the ground with the ball for Queensland. Play by Darridge. Part of this all-Australian backline. And that is Nate Miles who plays it now. Back on the 20. Thaiday brings it away.
Queensland look very composed in both attack and defence. New South Wales a little frantic. That's to be expected. A lot of nerves out there, and the scoreboard starts to play on your mind. They've just got to settle into the rhythm of the game.
Lockyer there to the left foot and driving it down for Gidley. Gidley with a good run, a run of about 35 metres now. Taking it back down the ground towards halfway. Only the second fullback behind Lockyer to have captained at Origin level. The Blues then getting a penalty off the whistle of Shane Hayne. Robbie Farah it is who gets the penalty. So it's been a good attacking period for New South Wales. Can they breach the Queensland line? All the players you ever talk to about Origin talk about the speed of the game, the increase in pace in the game, from club football to Origin football. And 7 rookies are out there now, I guess, understanding exactly what those former Origin greats were talking about. Wayman to play the ball on the 20-metre line. Blues going up the middle then, and now they go right side. Wallace and then LaFranchi. Nice hands by the forward. The Blues 10 metres out from the line. Ball played over there by Gidley. Sloppy played the ball. Farah had to correct it. Wayman tries to break through, but Wayman's going nowhere. The Queensland wall in operation. Hannon and Miles that time. Farah goes back deep for Wallace. Wallace away to Campese. Hayne might get a try here. Well, he scooped it back in field, and it's dived on there by Ben Cray. Did the ball go back from Hayne? Did it go into touch? They will review all of that.
Well, they can't review the ball going back in as to whether it's forward or not, because that would constitute a forward pass, and they can't rule on that. So that hasn't been called against the New South Wales side. So I can only imagine they're looking at Jarryd Hayne in relation to the touchline.
Not again. It'll be renamed the Jarryd Hayne touchline. If that's the case, no touch. Does he touch the corner post? Ball is gone. Corner post not touched.
Well, that's all good. That is all good. Whether it goes forward or not, the ball, that we've gone past that determination, and Ben Creagh gets the 2 hands on it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he throws it 5 yards forward. If the referee didn't rule it at the time, the video referee can't call it forward. And you would think with the ball being thrown in the field of play and then ending up in the in-goal, there had to be some forward motion in it.
So it's a try to New South Wales. It finally came, with the man who was denied featuring prominently. Jarryd Hayne, a try for Ben Creagh. Welcome to our audiences down in New Zealand and wherever you're taking us via our networks overseas. The Origin reaching far corners of the world. Well, there's the try scorer, the Dragons' second rower, Ben Creagh.
He's having a powerful season, Ben Creagh. And I've got to say, we're not in a great position here, but gee, I thought the ball went back from Jarryd Hayne in a forward motion. I thought they were very, very fortunate to get that, the New South Wales team. We should have explained to viewers who don't watch a lot of rugby league, this is the first year that we've had 2 referees officiating our game. It's a club level and it's been adopted at state level. And that is the assignment facing the skipper, and he's drilled it just to the right of the post.
So no goal for New South Wales and for Kurt Gidley. It is 18-6 with 6 minutes of the first half to go. Andrew Voss sideline.
And Ray, for New South Wales, only their 3rd try in the last 6 halves of State of Origin football. Wally Lewis with me again on the sideline. 6 minutes out from halftime. This is a big stage of the match.
It certainly is. It could be one that will decide the issue. Very important for the Queenslanders to just try and drill into the New South Wales players' heads that they got a bit of a freak try there, but I'm sure that the Blues will want to go out and boost their confidence even further. They look very cool, calm and collected waiting behind the try line here.
And Ray, with Justin Hodges, they do fear some ligament damage. They'll assess him again at halftime.
Wally Lewis and Andrew Voss on the sideline tonight. As New South Wales start the long haul back with Justin Paul, 20 metres out from his own line. And that is James McManus, the Newcastle winger. Born in Scotland, played his first football in Ipswich, went to Darwin. And here's a run being made down the middle of the ground by Luke Lewis, who's out there now, just a few metres short of halfway. Gidley from dummy half. LaFranchi takes it forward, tackled by Ben Hannon. And LaFranchi told to stand up and play the ball. Wallace, Gidley gets the ball away. Lyon puts a kick in. It goes back in towards Slater. Slater comes away. Back on his own 10-metre line. Fends off one. Runs away from another. Still going across the ground. Links up with Folau. And Israel to play the ball. 11 metres away from his line. Slater waits there for another dip at it, and he's taken by Campese and put down. So, Queensland with Michael Crocker out there now as well. Friday night you'll see from Sydney the Tigers and Panthers live through New South Wales from Leichhardt, and into Queensland it'll be the Storm versus the Broncos live through the northern state, and then of course we'll turn them both around. For your viewing of rugby league on Friday night, this is Ashley Harrison playing the ball 40 metres out from his own line on 5. Lockyer goes back to Thurston, and Thurston's kick, plenty of drive about it. It's gone down to Gidley. Gidley coming away from the 20, looking to split through, almost does. And eventually Israel Folau puts a hand on him. Jennings tries to slip away, he got away from Folau. But now he's tackled a few metres on his own side of halfway. Michael Jennings played it. Wallace gave it. That's Lewis. Bit of a Penrith connection there. Ball from Jennings to Wallace, formerly, of course, and then with Lewis. And 38 metres out from the Queensland line, it's played there. Farah comes across, and he goes behind Paul and goes to Wallace and goes to Cray, and Cray running wide, running strong. It's a bootlace tackle, pulls him down. Penalty, Queensland.
Oh, here's this decision again about playing the football when not tackled. It is such a bad call. He believes he's tackled. He's gone to the ground. The defender lying on his back in Carmichael Hunt still has the man in his grasp, and you get penalised for trying to play the ball quickly, which is one of the sole aims of rugby league, to get to your feet and keep it going.
He's looked dangerous, Ben Cray, with a couple of his carries. A one-arm offload that nearly got Jennings away. They keep persevering with that on this side of the field. He's got the measure of his opposite over here.
Played by Ben Hammond. This is Dallas Johnson. Wrapped up by Lewis. And now for Nate Miles. They go inside the 30-metre line. In fact, they're forced back to the 30-metre line now in a strong tackle down there by Wayman and LaFranchi. Smith for Lockyer. Lockyer behind Croker. It's gone away from Slater, I should say. And is now with Carmichael Hunt.
Tackle count restarted.
Crocker again with the ball now. So down the middle area of the ground, Thurston turns it back inside for Ben Hammond. And they're 8 metres away from the uprights, and a chance again for Queensland. 3 tries thus far. Is number 4 coming? A charge by Miles. 2 metres from the line, the tackler was LaFranchi. They spear it back for Thurston, takes a shot at drop goal, and Archer waves it away.
Well, a bit of a surprise play there from Jonathan Thurston. You can understand it's always nice to be more than 1 or 2 converted tries in front.
He'll have to replace his divot there, Peter. He took a fair bit of the turf out before he kicked the ball. That was a time clock field goal. He just thought it was only a minute and a bit before the break. We won't get another possession. I'll pick up the point if I can.
This is Gidley. Just outside his own 40-metre line. Just watching Justin Poore in back play. He's really sucking them in. He may have a slight injury. But it all could come back, of course, to your first taste of the speed of Origin. Slater.
Absolutely, Ray. I've seen some rookies come into Origin and they're gone in 3 minutes. It's just absolutely the nervous energy they burn prior to. They get out there, they go up and back a couple of times, and they start to panic a little bit with their breathing. And sometimes you've got to get them off just to relax and get back out there again. He'll come good.
Played by Folau. It's gone to Lockyer. They go wide for Thurston. And Thurston will play the ball just inside the 30-metre line. Mal Meninga at the helm. And a chance to rack up his 4th series victory if they can take out 2009. So there it is, the halftime siren in the background here in Melbourne. It's 18-6 in favour of Queensland. 3 tries to the Maroons. New South Wales just the 1. They had 1 disallowed. But it's a 12-point buffer in favour of Queensland at half-time. Welcome back to Melbourne, to Etihad. State of Origin 1, 2009. Queensland well on their way to rewriting the history books of Origin. Never has a state gone through with a 4-peat victory. They've won the Triple Crown. They've done that a couple of times before. In fact, they've won the Triple Crown 3 times. This year, of course, they go for 4 in a row. Never been done before. And they're building the framework already. 18-6 up, 3 tries to 1. And just looking at the records of New South Wales coming back at half-time from a deficit, it's not that rosy. They've only done it 5 times. Queensland have come from behind to win 13 times. With these fellas, the Blues, the Aussie home loans Blues, have only done it 5 times, and the last time was in Game 2 of 2005. And that was the comeback game, was it not, for Joey Johns? And that was really a miracle, another of our Origin miracles, that Joey was able to come back and take the game apart and bring the Blues home as a winner. But this is a very good side we're looking at right now.
Oh, it's an outstanding football team, Ray, and they know how to win football games. The next try becomes all important.
Well, Joey did say that to Andrew. He said, the next try, we have to be the scorer of the next try. Still, there was, I thought, a little light at the end of the tunnel, particularly down Queensland's right side, which hasn't been aided, of course, by that injury to Justin Hodges. Jennings and Cray coming down that side. They might just be able to get them back into it. The deflation that came with the disallowed Hayne try, that's something I don't think 7 players, rookies, needed. It's a big enough ordeal without having that happen to you. But that's history now. It's 18-6 now, and the Blues will run left to right. Time blown on by Tony Archer. He only gave 6 penalties all game. In Origin 1 of last year, we've had 8 penalties so far in the game. They read out at 4-4 possession. It was reading out at 56% to Queensland. That's Carmichael Hunt with the ball. And there's Justin Hodges. That's not a good look. Not just for tonight, but for, I wonder how long into this season, as Cameron Smith clears down to Gidley. And Kurt Gidley is tackled just outside the 30-metre point, down at the northern end of the ground, on the eastern side of the ground. Jared Hayne on the 40-metre line now.
And that was a really good tackle, Darren Lockyer on Kurt Gidley, an important one again. And sometimes that's an area of Darren Lockyer's games that is overlooked. He's an outstanding defender, and again tonight he's made a couple of crucial ones in dangerous situations. There's heavy contact there on McManus.
5 or 6 metres into Queensland's area, and Farrell just lobs one over the sideline, and it'll be a scrum restart about 12 metres out from the Queensland line. Andrew's back on the sideline with the report. Yes, Andrew?
Yeah, well, as we watch Justin Hodges on the sideline, look, if there is any good news, they're saying it's medial ligament damage rather than cruciate, so we're not talking about the season. That was the early diagnosis on Justin, but obviously out of play tonight, out of Broncos match on Friday night against the Storm. And just the chief message out of Queensland at halftime, a good start to the second 40 minutes.
Here's Israel Folau. The charging, barging run out to the 20-metre line, and now Nate Miles. Now that's a good piece of work. Thurston got it away. Inglis is making the run down the left side. Maroon jumpers inside him. Oh! He's gone down the narrow side past Gidley and scored his second try. The kid from Barraville.
Well, what a talent. That's his 6th try in only his 8th game. And no one runs him down from behind. Everybody was trying to scout on the inside to get between him and support players. And Kurt Gidley, who's an outstanding defender, well, he was just beating all ends up. Wonderful pass from Jonathan Thurston to put him away, the in and away on Gidley. And he's beaten great defenders in his time, and he'll beat many more.
So 22-6 now, with a try in the opening 2 minutes of the second half. Just when Andrew Johns was saying, and everybody agrees, the Blues had to be the next to score, Queensland answered in spades. Greg Inglis, the try scorer, the second of the night. One of the great centres of all time. And Jonathan Thurston has got that view of the uprights. We've got an aerial of it. 22 metres out, 8 metres in from touch. Thurston, it's coming back. Look at it. Lovely, lovely to watch. Wally Lewis on the sideline.
Well, the creativity of Jonathan Thurston just putting Queensland into a wonderful position there. He was running straight towards us on the sideline, just had a look where the gap lied, and it was out wide. Why not get it out to Greg Inglis? And he attempted to be able to get back infield and back up to be able to point get the 4-pointer down. A wonderful opportunity, great reading of play.
And the bloke with the ball now, Wally, had a very big part in all of it. The fellow called Nate Miles. He was under extreme pressure. And he got a ball away. There he is on camera. He rises to the occasion of origin. Quick hands, Folau down right side. He got rid of Hayne. He's got Gidley to beat. Gidley's got him for the time being. Taken eventually then by Jennings. It's come quickly away from Johnson. Thurston, Hunt. And Hunt gets the ball on, and tackled as Ashley Harrison. The Blues stretch. They're under enormous pressure as Carmichael Hunt takes them on now. Peter Wallace makes the tackle. 5 gone for Cameron Smith. To Jonathan Thurston. Farah puts him down. It'll be marked by Jennings. Long run down the right side by Israel Folau.
Well, I don't think New South Wales will be in any hurry to get this restart underway. They are called back. Left side, Inglis on the fly. Right side, Folau. There's no rest.
There is no rest, Peter. The bucket is leaking, and it's leaking in more places than we've got plugs to put in it at the moment. The only consolation, I suppose, is you're playing against one of the great back lines of all time. It's gone over to Campese now. Cray ran a decoy. And this is Jared Hayne with the ball. Jennings is the dummy half, and he's taken on Lockyer. He beat Lockyer. He came then to Hannant, and Hannant and Nate Miles make the tackle. I really can't emphasize how good that ball from Nate Miles was that led to that try. Here's Campese. It's in no man's land, and Lewis cleaned it up, but they're losing ground with the ball. They've lost 30 metres with the ball now, before Jamie Lyon put a kick in. Slater way off the 30-metre line.
And every time New South Wales passed the ball there was a Queenslander in his face putting pressure on him. When they passed it again, there was another Queenslander coming forward. They didn't wait back because it was tackle 5. And it's little things like that that is the difference between the two teams. They are being out-origined, if you can use such a word. The origin mentality is all with Queensland, and New South Wales still needs to learn it.
Played by Hannant now. Behind Michael Crocker, an ankle-tapping tackle from Jennings. Brings down Carmichael Hunt. Now Thurston for Lockyer, and Lockyer for Harrison. Harrison taken by Luke Lewis. Players on the 5th tackle on the 40-metre line. Blues end of the ground. Thurston keeps it low. It's a stabbing kick. And then it bounces over the leg of Hayne. And even though he played at the ball, he was confident he didn't get a touch on it, and it comes back to the 20 for the restart.
Well, no surprise as we see Jonathan Thurston drill one in and Jared Hayne throw the foot out. The body language is all one way at the moment. All bunched here. There's no way New South Wales are going to pass the football, so the opposition condense their defence. And they can belt you. An offload there finds Justin Paul, and he takes it outside the 40.
Robbie Farah to Peter Wallace, across the face of Luke Lewis on the second bounce. It's with McManus, but it was, again, as you saw, quite sloppy. And they're on the halfway line now with Robbie Farah trying to make a break, trying to find a gap. They've been rare. Now it's with Wallace. He takes a forward with him, takes O'Donnell down the park. 30 metres out, tackle 5. And here's Farah putting a kick into the in goal, hoping for the right weight, but it's too heavy.
Well, there's another one. the New South Wales kicking game tonight has been very, very ordinary. I can't remember one kick that put any pressure on the opposition. There hasn't been a bomb. They've never put one up in the air to see whether or not they can catch the back three back there. No pressure on the chase. And they've virtually gifted possession back to Queensland. And again, that comes back to the Origin mentality of competing for the ball and just knowing the right play at the right time. Queensland have got all the confidence.
Miles will play the ball. 5 or 6 metres his own side of halfway. Smith around the face and picking up Slater. Slater getting his normal diet right. The tries. Here's Michael Crocker very close to the sideline over there, but now it's gone over the sideline. This is going to be a scrum.
Gee, I think he's very lucky to get away with that. Jared Hayne. The referee said it was play on, but it looked as though there was a second effort there from Hayne and forced the ball out of Crocker's hands. He stands up now. And, again, I think Crocker was happy to play the football. He thought he'd been tackled.
I think Michael Crocker's just happy to be here. He's only been with a club for a month, and of course was thinking he'd be watching this game from England tonight. Queensland hurried to put him back in the squad, though, didn't they, when they realised he was still in Australia and eligible to play. He's been great at club level for victories. Not so great in victories for the State of Origin, but he's a wonderful campaigner. Tough as they come. Played by Lewis. Away from Farah to Wayman, and Wayman is taken down in a nice tackle by Ben Hannett. Now they're 20 metres, all Gidley on the end of a shaker from Michael Crocker.
That's an Origin tackle. That's another Origin moment. That's just dominance.
Now Wallace, he goes high over towards Darius Boyd. And Boyd is able to dance around McManus. He gets around Lewis. He comes to another. He gets around him. He's taken by Jamie Lyon eventually with Gidley. That's a great return of the kick from Darius Boyd. Now Inglis. Queensland 24, New South Wales 6. As Lockyer goes back, Crocker gave him a decoy. Slater tries to split, but Jennings makes the tackle. And here is Lockyer taking a dummy half run, hoping to suck a penalty out of it. Crocker, it's gone to Hunt and now to Johnson. Johnson across, and Harrison leaves it behind. That's advantage play on Lewis. Luke Lewis. And just inside the 30-metre point.
Yeah, they're a great side, Queensland, aren't they? They're just into their rhythm. And New South Wales have got to be conscious not to get sloppy here just because they're 18 behind on the scoreboard. There's still 2 full games and 28 minutes in this one yet. There's a lot of learning to be done. They've got to keep working away, finding answers. You can't give up.
Here's Brent Kite back into the game as we go down to the sideline. Andrew.
Well, of the 8 reserves listed tonight, the only player who hasn't had any game time is Craig Wing, and I just wonder what Craig Bellamy's thinking is right now. I mean, at 24-6, 28 to go, surely now is the time to throw him in, even as a roving role. If it gets out to 30-6, well, what's the point of sending him on then?
If he's going to be the saviour, he better give him plenty of time. Tunnel ball for Jennings, dived on by Folau. Good player, Craig Wing, but I don't know whether he can give him this much start and catch him.
Well, there's another Origin moment. Loose ball on the ground, and only one jersey competed for it. The maroon jersey fell on it. And I reckon the maroon jersey and the blue jersey both had equal chance to get there, but Folau was just more desperate.
Play by Miles. Here is Hannett. Now Thurston. Catch and pass from him for Harrison, who's been busy. He mightn't carry the illustrious names as some around him, but he's played well. Here's Inglis.
He's been really good. Ashley Harrison wide to the left. And so too the man you pointed out earlier, Nate Miles. He's working the house down as Jonathan Thurston chases her onside, kicks wide.
Hayne under pressure. He's done well. That's the contest in the air, but it's a penalty. It's a penalty to New South Wales.
Well, they have been called offside. It did appear when Jonathan Thurston put boot to ball that the Chasers had timed their run well, but not to the officials' liking.
I'll tell you who has been good tonight, the crowd. The crowd. When I first came to Melbourne with football, they didn't have a clue what was going on, but tonight they're yelling in all the right places. They know exactly what's happening out there in the field. And they're seeing a very, very classy Queensland performance.
Farah goes across looking for O'Donnell. And O'Donnell reverses and then loses the ball, and Nate Myles is there to pick it up. So he's done a bit of cleaning up work as well, Myles, to go with his offloads. Cameron Smith pushing Kurt Gidley out of the road. Thurston goes short this time.
Well, off the bench, Nate Myles leads the hit-up for the Queensland team.
Play by Ashley Harrison. Cameron Smith gets a call back on the right side for the big number 10, Petro Sivanasiva. And Craig Wing is about to get into the game at the 54th minute. Cameron Smith away from Thurston to Lockyer. Lockyer goes behind a decoy for Slater, who's hammered. Hunt is with the ball, and Hunt will play the ball. 11 metres away from the Blues line. Play back to Folau, given to Lockyer. Lockyer for Thurston. Thurston on for Johnson. Johnson is in the middle of the ground. 10 away. Plays it again for Cameron. Now it's come back for Lockyer. And it's been put down by Jonathan Thurston. So he is human. It was knocked backwards, tackled into touch.
I wonder where Craig Wing will play. Who will come from the field?
Well, we've got the touchy coming in here for this hit on Billy Slater, I believe. Slater has received attention since it happened. And I imagine it's Jared Hayne who came in. There's the change with Robbie Farah coming on. Touch just saying that Billy Slater was put into a dangerous position.
Oh, rubbish.
Oh, no.
Absolute rubbish. Who's the linesman? That is absolute rubbish. If this is a penalty, Rabbits.
Well, it has to be if the touchies come on.
Okay,
Trust me, Rabbit, if this is a penalty,
pull out of that. Don't pull out of it.
Pull out of it.
I know you've got to commit yourself. Okay, but just watch where you're going to put him. Okay, we're going to scrum over here.
that is a disgrace. Well, thankfully, no penalty. Thankfully.
Well, there is a good ruling of common sense. And
Yeah, I reckon the referee had a little peek at the screen and said, gee whiz, what are you doing in here? Come on and caution for that, golly. Even Fatty's nodding his head. He's saying, yeah, no, that's Origin, that's okay.
Suddenly we've found a referee that's prepared to show some discretion, some common sense. Primarily it's an overrule,
Wait for the whistle, Peter.
and it's one to be applauded.
Ball in. Out. Yours.
Settle
James
down.
McManus with the ball.
It's all okay.
Just inside the 30-metre line. This is Brent Kite with the ball. I'm just wondering how big a part Bill Harrigan and Tim Mander played up in the tower. In the video referee's box, I guess they played a large part. Now it's come away from Gidley. But the point is we got the right ruling. 40 metres away from the Queensland line. Wallace in ball. O'Donnell to the 30-metre line. Playing it back for Craig Wing. Wallace is with it. A little kick. There might have been a hand on that. Here's Lewis with a chance. He's got the ball to Wing. Well, maybe he is a saviour. Craig Wing has scored.
well, if he's a saviour, he needs to do that another 4 times. And there's not a lot of time left. But a fortuitous touch there on the kick from Peter Wallace. And Luke Lewis chased well. Looked like he might have been able to score. But again, some desperate defence close to their line. Jonathan Thurston threw the hands out. Lewis got it. Billy Slater did as well as he could. And the short offload to Wing. 4 will become 6 following the conversion.
Craig Wing plays for the South Sydney club. This is the first time, did I read, the first time Souths have had 2 in an Origin contest since what, 1987. 1987, he and Michael Crocker. We are back in Melbourne, and are the Blues coming down the hill with gusto. Wing scores, only on there a second or so. Gidley converts, 24-12. Andrew Voss sideline.
Well, I'll bring Wally in on this one now that Craig Bellamy made the decision to get Craig Wing out there, but to take Robbie Farah off, I would have thought, Wally, for New South Wales to have any chance, they need both Farah and Wing on the field.
I agree with you. I think they've got to double up, try and get them going forward. We've seen Wing go out there and immediately got the team going forward. If you've got a partner working alongside him with Robbie Farah, that's going to increase their attacking level even more. Queensland in that last set of seats went backwards about 40 metres.
Farah and Wing worked as a great duo in the City Country match, Reps.
Yes, they certainly did. In fact, they haven't contested many kicks, have they?
Well, old Jack Gibson used to say you only kick it as far as you can chase it, and that is the first time New South Wales has kicked it to where the chasers could get to the ball. Now, they got a bounce, but you're not going to get a bounce if you're not there. At least they kicked it and chased it and arrived at the same time. That's their first attacking kick.
Here he goes again, Craig Wing, slicing through, up to the halfway line. It's gone from Gidley, gone to Wallace. Away it goes to Campese. It's gone out to Jennings, and Jennings steps and steps again. He's not held. He got the ball away. It's gone from Kite and gone to Campese. Down the middle of the ground, they kick the ball. And it's Darius Boyd who's put down.
Oh, if that kick goes another 10 metres further, they are in all sorts of trouble in the left-hand corner there, the Maroons. Darius Boyd was way in field. He was the only Queenslander back on this side of the field. And the ball landed in his lap. If it goes over his head, there were two Blues there ready to pick it up.
This is Hunt, just outside the 20-metre line. Seems to be a renewed spring in the step of some of the New South Wales defenders. Crocker's pass, finding Thurston. Thurston aiming it down the short side, but he's picked off by Wayman. Now it's come from Crocker, a dummy half, to Cameron Smith at first receiver. And he drills a big ball down the ground. That'll take some heat out of the situation, and Gidley watches it. So it's come back to the 20 for the restart.
21 minutes to go. It's all Queensland, by far the better side. They've been a beauty, but they lead by 12, one try, and it's game back on again.
Luke O'Donnell to the 30-metre line from the tap. He was able to make 10 metres. Basically from the standing start. Here's another bloke that's made 10 metres. So just maybe Queensland is starting to tire a little bit. James McManus plays the ball. Gidley runs it across, aims it towards Hayne, and Hayne is tackled. So this has been a very good set. 6 interchanges used by both coaches as it comes on to Campese now. And Campese challenges the line. Gives a short ball to Gidley, who says, what are you giving it to me for? He gives the ball back to Ben Creagh. He does a bit of dancing, basically saying, what am I doing with the ball? It didn't have much organisation about it. 20 metres from the line. Wallace puts a kick up. And here comes the chase from Jamie Lyon. Oh, what a leap. What a leap from Greg Inglis.
Well, Jamie Lyon, I reckon, jumped about 3 minutes too early. He was way up in the air before the ball arrived. There goes Jamie. He's on the way down when the ball comes, and Inglis is on the way up. Timed it to perfection.
Played by Darius Boyd. There's a run required here for Folau.
You know, you've jumped too early if you're 3 minutes before time.
He jumped a long way too early.
So Petro Civoniceva shoulders it out and is taken head-on by Craig Wing. Wally Lewis sideline.
Fellas, we heard a huge roar when that bomb was defused. Queensland out of trouble for a minute, but I don't think Coach Mel Meninga is going to be too happy at all. The last 3 times the Blues have had the ball, they've made 70 metres on each occasion to put enormous pressure on the Maroons.
And how did they make the 70 metres? The simplest way possible. Here's Jennings now, crossing halfway, coming to Lockyer, beating him, taken by Israel.
That's the way to play Queensland. Play him from there, play him from the dummy half area.
Gidley, Wallace, short, Kite. Kite looks around, thinks about a pass, decides against it as the defence crowd over the top of him. Wing, Campese, Campese, O'Donnell, O'Donnell, Wallace. Now it's back with Wallace. It might restart. It does. It restarts the tackle count. He's ruled that a Queenslander in tackling the player deflected the ball. Now it's with Luke Bailey back for his second session. 25 metres away from the Queensland line. 24-12 in favour of the Northerners as it comes to Brent Kite again. Just inside 20. Craig Wing to the short side. Campese for Ben Creagh. And Creagh is tackled. It's probably not the way to use him, but it's now with Gidley, and Gidley thought he saw a gap there between Lockyer and Thaiday, or between Crocker and Thaiday. Wing spears it out. Campese gets it right side. Lewis floats it out. Now Lewis in fact was creamed in the defence. It's Thurston, and Thurston is tackled, rounded up 33 metres away from his own line. Here's Darius Boyd outside 40.
That was a beautiful read by Greg Inglis, I think. It was a brute big hit too. He blindsided him. Watch this, bang, comes outside in on Luke Lewis, cleans him up as he gets the ball. Origin tackle.
Harrison picked up by Lewis and O'Donnell. Slow to get up, Ashley. Now it's gone across for Thurston, Lockyer, Slater, across the head there of Hunt. It's gone on to Folau. Folau reeling, ball lost. New South Wales have it. And he's going to order a knock on against Ben Creagh, I fancy.
Well, the Blues have got to turn this little bit of momentum into points. They've had a couple of visits now. They've come up with one try, but they are bending Queensland back, which is a good sign.
I think he's real. Sam Thaiday has knocked this on, despite the fact Israel Folau, sorry, despite the fact Ben Creagh knocked it out. So they've had a good call here. There's Creagh going at the ball. He knocks it out. No knock on from the ball carrier. But a New South Wales speed, and Jared Hayne takes the first pass from the scrum.
It's almost a complete difference to a ruling that was given 90 seconds ago. Here's Bailey now in a personal contest with Sivanasiva and Thaiday and Johnson. And they take it over halfway with Brent Kite now. So it's a surrender tackle call. And Craig Wing comes away. Wallace gives it out. O'Donnell is with it now. Right on the 40-metre line. 24 plays 12. Queensland in command. But here's Gidley taken by Thurston. Not for long he wasn't. He got rid of him. And now Cameron Smith comes in to help the number 7.
That's the way to play him. Get Robbie Farah back out there. Double team him from dummy half.
Wing for Wallace and Wallace for Lewis. And Lewis puts a kick in. And it's been batted back in field and taken by the Maroons. Grabbed there by Inglis it was. Slater then passes for Boyd. Nowhere to go. Kite wraps him up together with Jamie Lyon. Now Greg Inglis on Jamie Lyon. 24-12. 64 minutes of Origin 1 gone. Ashley Harrison out to the 20-metre line. Cameron Smith giving it to Petro Sivanasiva, and he's tackled out on 30. 5 gone. So that's exactly how far they came on the 5 tackles. They came basically off their own line to the 30. Now, again, they put this big kick in down the ground to just take a bit of heat out of it.
Well, that went 68 metres there off the boot of Jonathan Thurston. And be able to find open space. Made it an excellent kick. And now they back it up with some strong defence. Thaiday on Hayne. Jennings into dummy half.
So Jennings has been clocked around the 20 and 2.4. If ever New South Wales needed somebody to sprint that quickly, it's right now, because this clock is now becoming quite an enemy. 24-12 down with 66 minutes gone. Beginning this Saturday, by the way, on 9, Cricket's ICC World 2020 Cricket. As this ball is brought back by Slater. Saturday night, Australia plays the Windies, and Mark Taylor will host Nine's coverage of the beginning this Saturday on 9 of the 2020. Players out on the 30-metre line with Queensland in possession, and played by Slater. Got to Thaiday. Thaiday just outside his 40-metre line as he's wrapped up by Campese. Slater's pass has gone to Steve Price, and his head got knocked about a bit in that contact. Heavy contact, as a matter of fact, as Cameron Smith drills it out of dummy half. And they're certainly trying to play the percentages very much so now, Queensland. While we've got them down this end of the park, it reduces their chances.
Yeah, they're not coasting home, Queensland, but they're doing it just comfortably. Haven't had a lot of football in the last 10 minutes. And as you point out, the clock is very much on their side, and each tackle they make is one closer to getting the initial success as Farah goes back on full Luke Lewis.
That'll mean Craig Wing will go to lock forward, I guess, in a defensive position. But it gives them 2 or 3 dummy half options out there now, trying to get this try through the middle of the Queensland forwards.
Here's Gidley. 5th tackle gone for the Blues. They've come 54 metres on that 5. The kick by Farah, rebounds for Farah. Farah's inside 20. He picks up Jared Hayne. Hayne sprints over to score. Well, what a night has he had on both sides of the pendulum. It's 24-16.
It's been a mixed night, but that was in the high side. And again, as we saw in the last try, a deflection with the kick. And you've got to put yourself in a position to take advantage of any luck going around, and Robbie Farah does that. Comes off the back of a Queensland defender. Farah regathers his own kick and times the pass perfectly to Jared Hayne. We're about to have a 6-point ball game with time on the clock.
You're listening. I said it's good. It's good that you're listening.
Wow. Jared Hayne.
Quite a small team, mate.
I wonder, is he a Gemini? Talk about a split of fortunes.
Screwdriver through the middle.
We still think he scored a try. The touch judge thinks he scored a try. He wasn't. He didn't. And there he is, the try scorer. As I said in commentary, a fluctuating night for Jared Hayne. As Kurt Gidley, his captain, on his maiden voyage, converts the try. It's 24-18. Converted try margin, Andrew.
And there's 47 fans out there. The Farah clan watching all of that as he set up that try for Jared Hayne. Wally Lewis, are New South Wales about to do a Queensland on Queensland in Origin 1?
Well, the ball's in their court at the moment. Everything is going their way. They've got plenty of confidence on board. Plenty of young blokes that'll put themselves in some difficult situations from this area of the field. But I was going to say, Bossy, if there was one man that had a tough decision to make before over a try to Jared Hayne, the men in the middle are the ones with the pressure on them at the moment. The Queenslanders will have to stay back 10, 11 metres to ensure they don't give a penalty.
Well, that's a poor restart there. Ben Craig gets the football outside the 20, and as the players from New South Wales went back from the kick, the rallying cry was play them down the middle. Keep playing them down the middle.
Farah for Brent Kite now. And Kite will play it just on his own side of the halfway. Wallace to O'Donnell. O'Donnell to Wallace. Wallace to Lyon. Lyon stretching out. He's inside 30. He kicks ahead. There's a chance on here, but it's been cleaned up by you-know-who. Billy the Kid.
It's a wonderful thing, momentum, isn't it? And Origin is a wonderful thing. This is exactly where we thought the game would be. 10 minutes to go. Everyone out on their feet. One team charging at the other. Everyone trying to play a part. Jamie Lyon into the backfield. Kicked a little prematurely, but that's his game. That's what he loves to do. And now the Blues are muscling up, trying to belt these Queenslanders as they come out of trouble.
Played by Sivan Asiva and his front row partner Stephen Price take it out.
As soon as New South Wales scored that last try, Mal Meninga needed steel out there. Michael Crocker straight into the game as Kurt Gidley plays at the football just outside his own 20. It's a decent chase from the opposition.
He's able to beat the first tackle, that of Greg Inglis, who gets back into the defensive line with a jaded look on him. Here's McManus with the ball for the Blues now. 24-18. And strap yourself in. 9 minutes. 9 minutes. Halfway line, O'Donnell. Farah from dummy half. Well, the inclusion of Wing, he scored after about 60 seconds. Here he goes again. This is O'Donnell. Farah got back into the game. He did the same. So maybe that's the caper. Just send the replacements on. It's looking good at the moment. Here is Wallace putting a kick, raking across to Lockyer, who's out on that right field with just Folau.
Yeah, they ran that set of 6 all down the right-hand touchline here. You would prefer that in the middle of the ground. They need to keep taking the ball back to the centre of the field, then work them over from the dummy half area. They won't get as much pressure on tackle 5 when they go to kick.
Carmichael Hunt with this run, who came on reasonably early in the game to replace an injured Justin Hodges. Nearly 51,000 people here at Etihad.
New South Wales have got to be thinking Queensland will look for a field goal too if they get within range. You've got to be thinking all the time out here. What are they likely to do? Where will they come from?
Played by Stephen Price.
He should be stabbed into the corner.
And Thurston does exactly what Sterlo says, and it's going to go dead in goal. Is it? Is it? Is it? No, it's not. Oh, he's had a foot out. He's had a foot out.
Can you believe that?
He had a foot out, or did he put a foot out?
Well, that's the kick of the night. The kick of the night. Jonathan Thurston. Well, that is the proverbial inch perfect. And when he's picked it up... Oh.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. This touchline hasn't been too kind to the Blues tonight. That's just a brain snap. That's just not thinking. Oh dear, oh dear.
Well, now the one-pointer really comes into it as Ben Hannett winds it up centre field.
So 27 metres out right in front. Cameron Smith sweeping for Johnson. Johnson taken by Bailey and Craig as they set it up. Steve Price with that familiar reversing run of his. They're set, are they? Thurston through hands. Lockyer through hands. Slater, Inglis, and to ground a couple of metres away from the corner post. So it's spun wide now. It's gone out to Lockyer and back to Thurston. Thurston just pops it up there for Hannon.
He just lays the line there. There'll still be a field goal.
Darren Lockyer.
So Lockyer's dropped very, very deep. He's kicked one field goal, I think it is, in history of Origin.
Missed.
And he's missed it. Just going back to that retrieve. Here's the shot again.
I'll tell you this, Robbie Farah, who ran out to get pressure on him, was about 10 metres offside there. He was lucky not to give away a penalty. He got the jump, just threatened the linesman to try and penalise him. They didn't get it. Here come the Blues again.
Ben Krayers with the ball. Just going back to Gidley's retrieve of that ball back in the in-goal. The foot on the line or out. That rule is different in goal than it is in the field of play. Just for those that might be sort of scratching the noggin. Here's Wing getting it away. Hayne tries to step free. 32 metres out from the line. Farah sweeps it. Campese turns it back in, but
Intercept.
It's intercepted by Slam and Sam.
Refereeing saying that he got back on side and straight away on the attack, Queensland. Crocker, second pass out.
Just inside the 30-metre line is Michael Crocker.
Well, the chances are there, aren't they? They're just carving them up through the middle of the ruck. They're probably going to get another couple of possessions, but it's not over yet. There's still a chance.
Under 5 minutes to go. Darius Boyd, couple of metres his side of halfway. Dallas Johnson. Johnson, nothing flowery about all of that. Wayman makes the tackle with Bailey. Now for Thurston, shapes to kick, puts in a short kick looking for Slater. Slater might have been tackled without it, was he? Ball has gone to ground with Carmichael Hunt. It went forward off Slater. So Gidley will play the ball.
Got to lift. You got to keep driving yourself here.
Well, you talked about it in your pre-match from down on the sideline.
They've learned a lot tonight, the Blues. They've been out Origin in so many little areas, and they're only 6 behind. Regardless of the result tonight, they will take a lot out of this game about Origin football.
Lewis is back there. Coming up to 77 minutes gone. McManus decides to have a go. Now Farrell got a good quick play of the ball. Got rid of an awful tackle by Dallas Johnson. It's gone on to Luke Lewis. You don't see a tackle from Johnson like that very often. That's gone back and Lockie is there. Who do you need in an emergency most? Call for the captain. Here's Price.
I reckon every loose ball tonight, the Maroons have dived on it. Every 50-50 possession, a Queensland jersey's ended up with the ball.
Folau is with it now. That's Origin, Gus, as you've explained.
That's Origin.
Jonathan Thurston, Pete.
Yeah, getting the football in such good field position. A chance to ice the game here if they don't score the try. Crocker beating a couple. And we'll get a quick play the ball. No dummy, no marker, so Smith will run.
Smith drifting. Slater, give it to me.
Yeah, wide pass to Lockyer. Take the one.
Last tackle. Cameron Smith, and the kick goes to the ground. Luke Lewis wins the race for the Crumbs.
At last.
10 away from their own line. Now they're 20 away. 2.5 minutes to go and 80 metres to run. O'Donnell.
Been one of their best tonight, Luke O'Donnell. Has not stopped, been a powerhouse.
Farah, Wallace goes back to the middle looking for the pace man, Jennings, to the 40-metre line. Fourth tackle gone, 2 minutes of the game remaining. Farah. Total misunderstanding there. Was he going to give it? Will I give it? No, I won't. Yes, I will. No, I won't. Wing spears it back for the kick from Wallace. They might get another use of it. Where's that kick from?
Just outside the 40, right?
Just outside 40, Pete. Thank you.
Fatty's over here in the corner whispering Queenslander, Queenslander. What's all that about? What's he trying to say?
Friday night, of course, again, you'll see the Tigers and the Panthers in New South Wales time out. The Blues have packed.
Must stay in the scrum.
But I see the lock forward standing out of the scrum, so I thought you had to stay in the scrum. Anyway, that's another rule and another discussion for another day. Tigers Panthers from Leichhardt. That's the New South Wales live game on Friday night. Storm Broncos, the live game in Queensland Friday night, 7:30 both states, and then we'll turn it round, change partners, and do it again.
Listen, boys, there's still time off. No push until the ball's in, right? There's no push until the ball's in. Get in.
Archer.
Time back on. Out.
Giving some scrummaging instructions as Folau takes this play. 90 seconds to go. One tackle down. Thurston for Steve Price. Second tackle down. 1.25 to go. Cameron Smith for Michael Crocker. Third tackle. 1 minute and 5 seconds to go. The Blues have got to get the ball, and they've got to get it back. At the moment, something like 35 metres. It's going to be more than that, though. Price with that backing run again.
And this is where you need to find the effort to put pressure on the kicker to nullify some of the distance he'll find.
Thurston's kick screws around. Gidley has knocked on, and you can bet your bottom dollar that that's the end of the section.
Well, that was smart work by Jonathan Thurston, who didn't attempt to kick it towards the sideline because he knew that would stop the clock. The Blues would get there and pack the scrum. So he kept it in play. It caught Gidley by surprise, and he just had a little... He didn't want to touch it. He didn't want to play at it. But the pressure of the situation made him throw the hand out, and Queensland will take a 1-0 lead in this Origin series.
And that is a shame for Kurt Gidley. I mentioned Luke O'Donnell, how good he has been. Well, Kurt Gidley has been outstanding as well in a beaten side, as Greg Inglis gets rid of Jamie Lyon, throws a dummy and puts Darius Boyd in the corner. They always score the last try in Origin.
It's mandatory.
Oh, what a play there from Greg Inglis. And in and away on Jamie Lyon, and beautifully positioned his winger to extend that lead. 6 goes to 10, and I believe they're at least that good a side in front.
Again, that's Origin. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard says, you've got to keep playing, and Queensland do this whether they're 20 behind, 20 in front, 6 in front or 6 behind. They will come up with the big play in the final moments. This try will go down in the 81st minute. It's after the siren. But they do it time and time again. It's another lesson for the Blues again about Origin football.
Ray, you've been calling football for a long time now, and you've seen some wonderful players, but that fend of Greg Inglis, I haven't seen a stronger one, a more effective one. He planted on the chest. Game 2 last year when they won by 30. He just got rid of people like they were swatting flies with that fend, and the strength is unbelievable, the upper body strength.
It's become his trademark, hasn't it? The fend of Inglis, but at the end of the day, Sterlo, he can't get a bigger rap than the one you've just given him. Greg Inglis, superstar. Couple of tries, then an example. He pulled out his biggest weapon there. I was just doing some tidying up here, getting ready for what's to come on our telecast still as John Thurston prepares to convert the try by Darius Boyd, and Thurston drops it short. Boyd, by the way, that's his 3rd Origin try in as many matches at Origin football. He can find the line, Darius Boyd. He left this one a bit late, but look, 28-18. I know Queensland have won by a 10-point margin, but I think Craig Bellamy will be certainly taking something home from Melbourne from this experience tonight. Let me simply say to you, Queensland 28, New South Wales, though, a mighty fight back in the second half, 18.